Everybody wants to have that Kobe Mamba mentality or that Jordan killer instinct. But the thing is, everybody sees it as so unapproachable. Like, we all chase it, but we can never find it. But the truth of the matter is, the key to their success, the key to their mentality and what allowed them to dominate is really some simple principles that they just mastered. They both learned it from the same source. So let me break this down to you, okay? When you're in a game, you have internal and external distractions. Your external could be that defender that's locking you up, right? You can't get anywhere. You can't get your shot off, whatever it may be. Or it might be the crowd. They're talking to you. They're heckling. They're just loud. The energy's crazy. Or it could be something external, like you missed a shot bad and now you can't get out of your head, right? Those are all those internal distractions. But what happens is we have the choice of whether we react or we respond to them. And the react and respond are like two different wolves, right? If we react to them, frustration comes, desperation comes, worry comes, lack of confidence. Everything that we do not want to happen in a game, everything that is the opposite of that Mamba mentality and that Jordan killer instinct. But instead, when we respond, meaning we're in a place where we're calm, we can be present with the moment, we're mindful of what's happening, we're mindful of our thoughts and emotions that are trying to distract us in what we're trying to do, and to be able to get to a point where we decide which wolf we feed. Do we feed the reaction wolf or do we feed the response wolf? And when you can't get yourself to a certain point where you can't get out of those distractions and you're feeding the wrong wolf, the first thing you need to do is just stop and breathe. Just stop and breathe and be mindful. Take that second during free throws. Take that second during timeouts. You see it all the time in NBA games. Players will sit down before they start listening to a coach. They just sit and you'll watch them. They'll take a few breaths and you'll see them kind of just zone into where they're going if you look into their eyes. That's step one, because that allows you to get back to what your intentions are, which in that case is to win or to produce a result or whatever has to happen in that situation of that game. It starts with the breathing, the mindfulness, and getting back to your intention. Now, here's the thing that I think most players are really missing in this whole scenario is, okay, maybe they can get good at breathing and refocusing during a game, but they're the type that easily gets rattled from these distractions. They're the type that it's always going to happen when they miss shots. It's always going to happen when they make mistakes or coach pulls them out of the game. So the next level of this to get to that Mamba mentality is to train the wolf outside of the court. But the process is very much the same, because in the game, what did you do? You started to slow down, you started to breathe, you started to be mindful and present so that you could focus on the intention of what you wanted to create. Well, when we go and we build this wolf behind the scenes, or we feed the right wolf, then it's the same thing. We slow down, we start breathing, and we start picturing all the successful things we have done, seeing ourselves in places where we've already seen what success looks like, feels like, and we've already accomplished that, no matter what levels that may be. And then as we go through that past and bring ourselves to the present, still being mindful, still breathing, still being very slow and deliberate in our process, we then get to that point where we start seeing where we want to go and who we want to be. That champion, that varsity player, that all-state player, that college scholarship. And we start creating this and seeing this. And what it does is it acts just like a muscle. It responds with growth. It responds with strength. So now as you walk into your practices and your workouts, they're more deliberate. And when they're more deliberate, you're going to get more from that work. And what that allows you to do is it becomes your armor in the game. So when those distractions come back up, you have armor against that. You have protection against that. You can provide the focus needed to get through the distractions before they force you to slow down and breathe again. And that is what the Mamba mentality is. That's what that Jordan killer instinct is. You couldn't phase them. It's why every time someone talked trash to Jordan, he just turned another switch on and went to another level. It never took him out of his game. He was in control of his intentions and his focus, that he knew how to take that and leverage it into his own advantage. I hope you found great value in this, and I hope you use these exercises and these techniques to become more of that mental warrior you need to be on the court. However, even though I just taught you the principles, that was still the surface level understanding of how this works. If I were you, I would highly encourage you to get this book, The Mindful Athlete. It's by George Mumford. George Mumford was actually hired by Phil Jackson both during his championships with the Bulls and the Lakers to teach these same principles to his teams. These are the same principles that Mike and Kobe used to evolve their mental game more. Just hit the link in the description, get your copy now, because this will be one of the best books you read as a basketball player, hands down.